Hello everyone, this is John Brown. This is my final design for my Yeti. So I've got a story that I'm going to try and animate. The first character was a little dude, a little guy with a helmet. And then I designed K, which was another character for the story. And this now is my third character for this story that I have written out. I'm probably going to try and do some, how you say, storyboards after this, but let's not get ahead of ourselves, shall we? So, so this is the final design for a Yeti character. He's going to be introduced quite early in the story, and I started off with black lines here in Photoshop. So I'm enjoying Photoshop, enjoying drawing in Photoshop. I still like to do, as you can see, I still like to do the roughs on pencil. Part of it was just because I got to get away from the computer sometimes because it feels like it's sucking the air out of me. And I also enjoy, I still enjoy the results a little bit better I get on paper. So I did a few different versions of this guy. So he's changed slightly, and I've had him kind of on the radar for, I don't know, for the past year or so. I've been wanting to kind of use this character. Um, so this is this. I'm hoping that this is my final shot at him, and I can kind of lock this character design and move on. Um, but he's a lot of fun to do. I can see him as being very expressive, and he's got kind of the big wide eyes, and he's got a little tuft of hair on his head. So when I get to the animation stage, I can play around with a little secondary action on the hair. He's got big old brows and all that kind of junk. So I still haven't decided whether or not I'm going to do this project in Toon Boom or Animate, or I might just keep it in Photoshop. I'm kind of liking the drawing tools. I'm thinking that a lot of the cuts in it are going to be fairly quick, so that I can kind of utilize that. So I won't necessarily need a kind of a big animation program if I keep the cuts fairly short. And I think the backgrounds are going to be fairly simple. So I went over him again and I just wanted that nice kind of the external lines to be a little thicker than the internal lines so that he kind of sticks out. So I redid this a little bit, and again, like I said, if I bring him into an animation program and I'm doing vector lines, this might look a little bit different. So this is his front view, and then I moved on to his lovely side view. So still trying to keep that flour sack thing going on, where I've got the volume of the chest and the volume of the stomach and hips. So when I do my front, my side, you can see I have those lines kind of extended out. I kind of did those by hand. If you want to, you can do them by ruler to be real very specific. But this is good enough for me, I think. You know what I mean? So I want to make sure that all of my elements line up. The top of the shoulder and the elbow and all that is consistent from the front view to the side view. And you can see I'm just obviously just kind of touching up that line. I want to keep the internal detail fairly simple. I don't necessarily want to go all out on giving a bunch of lines, because it just means I'm going to have to animate it over and over again. And I think this is going to be fairly, when I bring it into whatever program I'm going to work in animation, I'm probably going to keep it pretty much frame to frame animation. I mean, I'm going to do my keys and I'm going to do breakdowns and in-betweens and all that, but I don't think I'm going to rig this guy up and make a like a character rig in it. But there might be situations where I do, but I don't think so. And you can see when I originally drew it, I kind of drew the head out a little bit farther. I think it was because I started out with his chest a little bit bigger, and then I wanted to cave in his chest a little bit in the side view, so his head was out a little bit. So the nice thing about Photoshop is I can just take that layer that I did the cleaned up line on, and punch it out, or move the original art in the background so that I can make it kind of sync up. So there you go. There's his front and his side view, and then I wanted to kind of delineate that hand a little bit as well. I like doing hands. They're fun. I only got a front done here. I don't have a lot of poses in previous tutorials. I've had a few more hands, but this I think I've just got the front to clean up. And again, I want to keep those lines fairly simple. I want to have that. I want to have the construction underneath. I want to have it look good and proper and all that. But I also want to keep it simple. He's also going to have little tufts of hair, I think, on his arms and all that. So well, you can see I kind of rethought this hand a little bit. I wanted to give a little less detail. I think I kind of started out here, and I want to put lines in. My natural inclination, or most people I know, their natural inclination as well is to clutter it up with a bunch of lines, right? Which is not necessarily what you want to do. You want to keep it simple. You don't necessarily want to have it be a simple construction, or simplistic, I guess. You don't necessarily want it to be a simplistic drawing. You do, however, want it to be simple. You want to add only the detail that's going to enhance it, and you don't necessarily want to go overboard, because it just means you're going to have to draw it over and over again, and overly rendered can drive you crazy. So now what I did is I brought up a few of the other characters that I've been working on. So this is I brought them up primarily because of like kind of a color palette thing, right? I want to have all my characters kind of gel together, and color is not necessarily the first thing I think of when I'm drawing. So a lot of times, for me, color is kind of an afterthought, but I'm trying to get better at it. So I chose a couple of different tacks here, right? I wanted him to be kind of earth tone, because I'm thinking that the background is going to be primarily white and very, very light. White or very kind of light blues. It's going to be kind of a wintry scene. So I want him to stick out a little bit from the background. Obviously, I don't want him to be white, which was kind of my first reaction in designing this character. I wanted him to be kind of a big white Yeti, but I think that's going to conflict quite a bit with the backgrounds I have in mind. So I wanted him to be on the brown side, kind of earth tones. So, and I also didn't want him to be as kind of bright and vibrant brown as the little doggy. So, now that I'm looking at this now, it might change slightly. I don't know if I'm married to this color scheme here. I kind of like Kay, and I kind of like Buck. And I think I brought up this dog before I did the tutorial on it, but I think the little doggy's going to be next. So I'm just doing the final color, and I want to keep the palette probably to 3 colors. So I'm going to have a kind of a darkish brown, a tan, and a light brown, just for ease of animating frame by frame. So this is my Yeti character. What else to say? I'm winding down here. So this is the Yeti. He's part of the Snowstory. I've got more to come, so please stay tuned and look for more. Thank you very much.